Hey everyone, Agnach here. Welcome to another video. On today's video, I'm bringing another strategy I have seen with super bowlers. The army I use for this smash is 3 super wall breakers, a couple of cocoloons, 5 healers, a baby dragon, 2 witches, 4 super bowlers, an ice golem, and a headhunter or a couple of them. You can change some of the troops depending on the base that you are hitting, so you can just add or delete some of them just to suit you for the base that you're hitting. Either in War or for Legends League, this is the army that I use. For spells, I bring 3 rages, 1 jump, 2 freezes, and a poison. In the CC, I bring the usual Yeti CC with the bug and the bob, and also a rage and a freeze as spells. I like using the log launcher or the blimp as a siege machine depending on the base, and I use this army in one of our GCC wars against Seoul. So let's watch that replay first. So this is my attack, and first what I do is I send the blimp, the Yeti blimp, for the town hall. I usually do this attack this way with bases that have the town hall on the outside, just sending the blimp for the town hall, putting a baby dragon just to get rid of the garbage buildings on the outside. That creates a little bit of a funnel as well. I wanted the Yeti blimp to get rid of the town hall and the expo, and it got it, so that's perfect. Then on the other side I put the king and the witches just to start a bit of a funnel on the other side, and then I send the rest of my army in between where the blimp and where the king were, using a couple of super wall breakers to break them in. Then I brought on this army a couple of jumps. Instead of bringing an extra rage, I swapped it for a jump. Now that I'm looking at the replay, probably I could have brought an earthquake spell and that would have been pretty much the same job, but the double jump ended up working. Now because there were some defenses left at 12 and I'm using wizards just to clear the buildings up there, I decided to send my royal champion from 12 to go all the way down as the rest of my troops are moving along the base. Now my queen and my royal champion are gonna meet at 3 o'clock, and then they're gonna be able to go down, and the wizards are gonna be able to keep clearing all of those buildings that the royal champion is leaving. Now everything is going to be collapsing towards 6 o'clock, so this does end up getting a little bit too close. We use the royal champ ability, she ends up getting rid of the Tesla, and we still have 1 Tesla and a multi-inferno left. Now that multi-inferno can kill them very quickly even though we've got the healers, so thankfully the warden was still there with half health and he was able to get rid of the multi-inferno, and we got this triple in GCC. Then I decided to start trying it in Legends to see how good it is or how bad it is. Now in my personal opinion, I don't think super bowlers are that OP. I think they're good, but their damage and their HP is not really that strong. Like if you put them in, you will notice that with most of the attacks that you bring super bowlers, you will always be ending up with your heroes by themselves because the super bowlers are going to be dead. However, when you do manage to put them into the center of the base and you raise them up, they can create quite a fair bit of damage. So that's kind of like what I'm doing here, sending the blimp for the town hall, putting the queen and the warden behind just to funnel the buildings towards 3, having the king and the witches at 3 funneling the outside, and then sending everything inside to go into the center of the base with the jump. I ended up managing to do that, which is why it ended up being quite good. However, one of the things that you do need to look at is if the super bowlers do end up walking out of the base, that's not good. That most of the time you're just gonna be failing the attack, because what you want is those super bowlers, at least for the start of the attack, to be in the center of the base creating damage. Then if they go outside and they start hitting elixir pumps, it's not really gonna be causing much of help for your heroes once they end up finishing the base. So on this one we've got the triple, and then we've got this one which is kind of like a ring base, and the same thing. Now on this occasion, instead of sending the blimp to create the funnel, I'm using a warden, doing the warden walk, so we just get rid of some of the 6 o'clock buildings just enough that we have created the funnel. Now the other thing with this one, because as I said before, the super bowlers do like walking away very easily. Even if you're bringing a log launcher, it takes a little bit of time for the log launcher to go through the first wall, so I do suggest using the super wall breaker on that first layer just to make sure that your super bowlers do follow the path that you want them to follow. Otherwise they're just gonna start walking all over the place. Over here we ended up going all the way into the center of the base, putting the rage there. As I said before, if you have them in the center on the warden and with the rage, they do create quite a fair bit of damage. We do have the jump for the left hand side just to make sure that troops do jump there, although the log launcher at the moment ended up breaking the whole compartment, so now we've got access to everywhere. And we still have our witches on the outside, which I do believe are the MVPs of a lot of the attacks, because they do end up clearing so much stuff. They're really good. So over here we've got the queen still alive. Well, not anymore, but we do have the royal champion just going through the base. We've got the Yeti, we've got a super bowler, and everything is just being cleared, and we finish with Lord Vince. Now we've got this other base. Now teaser base, the way that I approach with this attack is pretty similar to the Chinese smash, where you're using the warden on one of the corners just to create a bit of pathing. If that scatter shot, a lot of the time on this sort of bases, the scatter shot is a little bit more towards the edge, so then you can just use the warden walk just to get rid of the scatter shot or the inferno or whatever is on that edge. On this base it's quite central, so I just wanted to create the pathing, then putting a couple of witches and my king at 3 o'clock to create the other side of the funnel, then getting everything to go in towards the eagle with the log launcher from behind. Now if you send the log launcher around 3 o'clock, it's better than the way that I sent it here at 4 o'clock, because at 3 o'clock it will open the entire core. It's like if you maintain the log launcher protected and it does throw all of its logs, it will open the entire base. However, you do have that jump which you can use at the back end just to make sure that your troops do end up going to the town hall compartment and they don't end up diverging. Over here I noticed that I had a super bowler and a yak going at 12, so I just decided to send my royal champion up there just to make sure that I could clear the defenses up there, but she does end up going to the defending queen and she ends up going down. But we do have our yetis, a queen. I had the rage for them just to go and get the town hall. Now you need to make sure that if you're coming and you're doing this approach, you do need to save a couple of freezes for the town hall, because you're gonna have to freeze it quite a few times just to make sure that your troops do end up going there, because if you don't, then this goes from a 3-star to a 1-star very quickly. So you just need to make sure that you do that, save a couple of freezes, just don't throw them early on in the attack, and then you'll get the triple. Then we've got this, a proper ring base, and the same thing, starting with a warden walk on one of the sides, and yeah, just pretty much creating the pathing. Then you use the super wall breaker to open the initial wall, as I said before, having the king and the witches on the other side. I did decide to put the baby dragon there just to help him out, because I wanted the king to go into the second layer of defenses, and then I send the log launcher with the queen and the super bowlers, send them all the way in. I like using the warden ability nice and early, basically because I can save all of my troops. A lot of people as well, they do decide to wait for that warden ability until you get to the town hall. Either way, it's really good. It really depends on how you attack. But over here I've got my yetis, the town hall goes down, the poison explodes, but my bowlers are going around the poison, which is perfect for me. I do end up putting the jump there just in case that if they do want to get out. I do have a couple of healers healing my super bowlers, which is going to be perfect. Usually when the healers are healing your super bowlers, they do last for a lot longer, but if you can't manage to move your healers from your warden to the super bowlers, those super bowlers will die in 2 seconds, and that's the only thing I don't like about them. However, later on, probably tomorrow, I'm going to be bringing another smash which uses super bowlers and super archers, and that one is really good. So basically stay tuned for that one. But at the moment with the classic Super Bowler Smash, well, calling it classic, it's only been around for a couple of weeks, but this is pretty much what everyone uses. So again, Warden Walk on one of the corners, just creating a bit of a funnel, getting rid of some of the defenses. The owl is going to go down nice and quick, but well, there's not much we can do about it. And then we've got the king, which is on the other side. So I think you've get the picture of how this thing works. Warden on one side, king and witches on the other side, Super Wall Breaker the first layer. Then you put the rest of your army, put the log launcher just to make sure that it goes through. Have a look at where the client castle and the town hall is as well when you bring in your log launcher, because a lot of the time as well with the logs you can get rid of all the headhunters, or all if it has like mass archers or anything like that, you can get rid of it with a log launcher. So as long as you angle it perfectly, it can work even better for you, not only opening walls but also getting rid of that defending CC. So it's a little tip that I can give you for that. And obviously on this occasion I had it lined up with Eagle, CC and Town Hall, so it was perfect value for the log launcher. Over here we're still going. All the Super Bowlers are dead, which is not a surprise for me. However, we still have the Royal Champion running around with the Warden. We've got the Wizards on the back end just clearing the buildings. We're gonna be able to get rid of the scatter, get rid of the Archer Tower, and then it's just clean up. And yeah, most of the time I haven't really run into time fail issues with this army. It usually goes for like 2 minutes 30, something like that. But this is the army, the conventional Super Bowler Smash. Let me know what you think of the army. As always, I'll leave a link in the description below. If you liked the video, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time with more Clash. See ya.